And welcome back to the Silver and Black Radio Podcast. I'm your host, Raider Will, and I am here with my boy, James, representing the TBH military chapter. I got my boy All In, representing TBH Dallas. And you got myself, Raider Will, representing TBH Westco. And we're going to talk about Malcolm Kuntz, the Isaiah Palomao re-signing, and what we're going to do with the sixth pick in the draft. Hey, All In, take it away.
I like that kid since we drafted him. So that was a good contract. So it didn't kill us. Great move, Spy Tech. Malcolm Kuntz. If that dude's really looking for 20 a year, appreciate the 9 games. We'll catch you on the flip side because you ain't earning 20 million a year. In my opinion, I think a contract for that dude's probably 2 years, 20 million, give him 10 a year. He's gonna prove it though, man. He had 9 games, and outside of that, he ain't done much else in his rookie year, his rookie deal. So I'd move on, man. Go get a guy like Sweat out of Philly, who was highly favored to land anyhow, or even fucking bring Khalil Mack back for that kind of money.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What would you do with the sixth pick? There we go. We got Matty B.
The sixth pick.
Hey.
Hey.
Me, well, it's really hard to say, right? Like, do we sign a quarterback before that? If we sign a quarterback before that, I think we're going to be the best player available for our need, right? Which would be a receiver or a running back. If we don't sign a quarterback, then it's got to be a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Man, that's why, man, 2 weeks, the tampering period begins, so you can legally start talking to players. So it's going to be interesting to see, man, which way they want to go. It's got to be a guy who's somewhat mobile. So whether that's a veteran or a rookie, man, we'll know how the team shapes up, I think, after free agency.
All right, brother. So, Matty B, just so you know, you're on the screen sideways.
Hey,
Yo,
look at that.
Yes, sir. Hey, brother James, go ahead, brother. Let us know what you thought.
Okay. I'm gonna start with the Malcolm Kuntz situation. I agree with All In. I think 20 mil for Malcolm Kuntz is pretty outrageous. Yeah, I don't think he's earned anything more than 10. Honestly, I think 10. I'd be like considering myself being highly generous, giving him even that much. I like the idea of Josh Sweat. I also like the idea of bringing Khalil Mack back. I think I kind of lean toward a little bit more towards bringing back Khalil Mack only because I feel like in the long run that's going to be a cheaper deal and an easier deal to move on from if something doesn't work out as planned. Now as far as the pick number 6, I could see the pick number 6 going a couple different ways between the offense and the defense. Preferably, I would like to see Shador Sanders or Jackson Dart. That's just me. I know we ain't drafted.
Go ahead. Stand on your chest right now. Tell us, hey, he's been on the pedestal already.
I know.
That's right. I've been there too.
So I know we haven't drafted a quarterback in the first round since Jamarcus Russell, and I know Jamarcus Russell was a train wreck in a nice way. That's a nice way of putting it. But I think the Raider Nation needs to get over that and really push for that first round pick to be a quarterback because it didn't work out when we drafted Aiden O'Connell. Clearly, we've had other QBs where we drafted even Derek Carr. Yeah, Derek Carr stayed around for 9 years, but it was 9 years of us still losing. You know what I'm saying? Sure, there was highs, but that when the lows were there, they were low, very low. And You know what I mean? I think it's time to address that position in the first round. I think the best way to do that is you grab a vet and you draft first round. Now, if you're not going to take a quarterback, right? The Raiders don't. If they're not buying into any of those three, right? If they don't buy into Jackson Dart or Shador, I'm not even going to mention Cam Ward because I don't think that's going to be even part of the discussion. If they don't buy into either of those two, as far as the offensive player, I like the idea of Tatori McMillan still, just because that replaces your spot, your wide receiver one. It gives you another option out there. Defensive wise, I've become very fond of Will Johnson out of Michigan.
I was going to say Will Johnson's a guy to see.
Ooh.
I think Will Johnson kind of gives me a little bit of the Seawood vibes. So I like Will Johnson. I like his aggressive style of play.
Got you. Yo, Matty B. So the questions were this. What do you think about the Isaiah Palomao signing? Malcolm Kuntz? And what would you do with the 6th round pick? Or with the first pick in the draft, which is a 6th pick, sorry.
Great pick, man. The reason we brought Kuntz is because I saw a report that he's looking to get 2 years, $20 million a year. So 2 years for 40.
2 years for 40?
Yeah, and I said, fuck it.
That's a lot.
He said
That's Joey Bosa money right there, bro.
That's a lot for 9 games.
9 games,
Not even Joey Bosa has a job now.
Yo, right? Shoot.
So, man, the Palomao signing, get back to that one. I think it was a great signing, to tell you the truth. I think that was definitely one that we needed to keep in-house. With that signing, I think we're letting Marcus Epps go. Honestly, I think if we're going to spend big money on free agency and we're going to keep our own, I think we're going to keep Merrick. And I think we let Marcus Epps go, which is the reason why we kept the younger guy, Palomao. So I think we'll keep that younger safety core in the backfield, in my opinion. I mean, he's a top 10 dude. Merrick's a top 10 defensive safety right now, man. So I mean, he's going to get good money, and if we're going to spend big on our free agents in-house, might as well keep him.
Well, he's the top safety on the market, too.
Kuntz is too much, man. Like, there's no way we're keeping Kuntz for that price, unless he takes some kind of friendly team deal to stay for a year or something, and then do like a prove-it deal. But I don't see us signing Kuntz for that. And if, in my opinion, I think if we keep somebody on defense and we go all out on them, it's going to be Merrick. I think Spillane. Well, I'm sorry, I won't even get into that. No, we won't even get into that one. But but anyways, so the second question was
we said Isaiah Palomao, Malcolm Kuntz, and what do we do with the 6th pick in the first round?
Okay, well, Malcolm Kuntz is that's too much of a price. So I mean, like I said, if he stays for a friendly team deal, then we keep him.
We also would be good with 2 years at $20 million, give him 10 a year.
I'd be good with that. I'd be good with that. That's a fair price for 9 games. Maybe you get that extension or a little bit more in the next year if you show up and play hard your first year. Maybe they give you that little extension on the end of that. But that 6th pick, man, I think honestly, to tell you the truth, I think it's going to all depend on our free agency. If we go out and we get a quarterback in free agency, a veteran, we're going to wait till probably the 2nd, maybe 3rd round to pick up a quarterback. I don't think we'll waste, because I think we can address other needs when it comes to
later rounds in this draft.
What's that?
I wouldn't even waste a pick on any of the guys in the later rounds.
Well, I mean, like if a Jackson Dart's there or something like that, if he does fall out or anything like that, I mean, there's a couple players in there.
I get what he said, though.
If we got somebody like that in the 2nd round, then, I think that's pretty good for us. I mean, Dart's moving up the board. You're not lying. I don't think he gets out of the 1st round, but if he does, he might be. He might be. Right now, nobody knows what the top 10s look like, man. I mean, this draft isn't really – there's not really a solid player at any position in this draft.
I told you all 6 quarterbacks were going to be gone by the time we picked, or whatever it was. I said,
right.
Will be gone.
But, I mean, hey, we could still even jump back into the 1st round. I mean, like I said, it all depends on our draft or our free agency, honestly, to tell you the truth. Because if we don't get a vet, yeah, we're gonna move up. We'll give our assets to get whatever quarterback we can in this draft to move up to get him. But if we don't get a vet, then that's the way we move. If we do get a vet, then I see us maybe jumping back into the first round and getting a quarterback, or wait until the second round and doing some picks around there.
There's a lot of solid, man. There's so much depth and talent in this draft. All the positions.
Well, like I said, there's not really like a solid number one player out of this draft, dude, that you could actually be like. I think everybody in this draft, like you said, is a lot of depth player, and you might find a diamond in the rough.
Dude, those dudes. Here's the thing: there's dudes, but they're not at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Last year's draft was so quarterback heavy and quarterback rich that everybody was like, "Oh, this is the draft to draft a quarterback for that fact." This year, quarterback needy teams, you got two dudes maybe, and they're not even a clear. Like, I'll ask you guys this: do you see a Jaden Daniels out there? Do you see a guy that's going to be a Jaden Daniels type that's going to come to the league right now? James?
Jackson Dart.
Okay.
That's not what Jaden's doing?
Dude, hey. Okay.
If Bo Nix can do it, Jackson Dart can do it.
Bo Nix is a product, in my opinion, of the system.
But it doesn't matter. Hey, that's the thing, though. Hey, Daniel. So, hey, tell me Daniels is not a product of the system, too, then.
Talent for talent, or what? I think Daniels can go play in any system and be fine.
Now, right or wrong, Bo Nix turned around that team, though.
To a point. I mean, I'm not saying turn around that
to a point. To a point.
Yeah, he wasn't.
They had a defense. Even last year, they had a defense. They were on.
But he likes offensive weapons.
But if you honestly think about it,
but if you look at that offense, he has a receiver core of garbage, with the exception of Cortland Sutton. You might as well put a bunch of trash cans out there. There's Cortland Sutton.
Think about this though, man. So you got a defense that can put somebody back and turn the ball over and put you in good position to score. You don't have to have a great offensive weapon. Look at us, man. We had Jacoby Myers. That's the only guy we had besides Brock Bowers. We didn't have anybody else. So, I mean, but we did pretty decent. Our defense was solid to a point with the backups and shit we had.
And here's the thing, though. Let's be real. There isn't a guy in the draft that you're saying, hey, I can put all my marbles on, and that guy's going to be a stud. I mean, Archie Manning next year, people are saying that this guy's going to be the next prodigal son. I'll be like, you guys already know how that whole lineage and tree goes.
Yeah.
Too,
like, that's just all talk. He's playing great against nobody this year in a few games, but.
That's the case. Let's just wait till Tom Brady's kids become NFL stars.
This guy, he said, wait till shit. We're gonna wait. We're gonna be dead by that time. The fucking Raiders never win a Super Bowl. But hey, all right, guys. So Isaiah Palomao, great re-signing, right? $4.5 million at that money to get a guy that's a possible starter is an absolute great signing. Malcolm Kuntz, I agree with you guys. Fucking way too much money. Unless he wants something that's a team-friendly deal, $9 million, 6th pick. I'm going to hit you guys with this. If we sign a quality quarterback, and I'm going to give you guys two different types of guys, okay? If fucking Matthew Stafford comes here, I guarantee you Chip Kelly's going to find a way to modify his offense to suit Matthew Stafford's strengths.
He'd be an idiot not to.
Right? If we don't, and if we do that, I am with you guys that we do not draft a quarterback in the first round. If we do that, we draft a quarterback maybe later on or next year. If we draft a quarterback in the first round, the reason I say this, it's giving up. We're not one position away to get a higher quality player. Okay. If you say, hey, we're going to take Jackson Dart at 6 when you have Matthew Stafford at the helm already. That right there is a product of what we have done is rinse and repeat and fuck shit up. Why would we draft a quarterback in the first if you have Matthew Stafford? It makes no sense.
And you
I
just
think
gave up a shit ton to get him.
I think you draft up a left tackle. You draft a left tackle. You draft a guy that can, or a right tackle, or somebody on the offensive line to beef up that line or defensive line. But all right, guys. James, I saw you. Go ahead, bro. Hit me with it. If we get Matthew Stafford, you are going to use the 6th pick on a quarterback.
Yeah, it doesn't make, to me that doesn't make sense. Even if you get Matthew Stafford is only going to be a 2-year option at best. I mean, you're not going to get, and even in those 2 years, you're not going to get the best play he's ever had in his entire career. That's not what you're going to get. You're going to get that I'm falling out my prime kind of play. You know what I'm saying? You remember when Brett Favre went to the Jets? That's the kind of play you're going to get. Or when Brett Favre went to the Vikings, that's the kind of play you're going to get.
He falled out with the Vikings.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
With the Vikings.
He played really well in Minnesota. They went to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, until he fractured his ribs.
Yeah, until he lost. He lost. He still lost. And then and then what happened to the Vikings? The Vikings went that far. They had no quarterback next round. Guess what? They were too good to draft anybody. So they absolutely sucked donkey balls the next season.
And then they went out and got Kirk Cousins.
So you're saying, okay, go ahead.
Well, maybe not.
If you trade
Kirk
for
Cousins,
Stafford, you're not going to have the 6th pick. But it's going to take that first round pick to get Stafford at the end.
Then in my opinion, you don't snag him.
You're not going to spend his first round pick on Stafford.
So you're going to pass.
There's no way you're going to spend a first round pick on Stafford.
There's going to be a bidding war for Stafford. You got us, the Giants, Pittsburgh, and the Jets, who are all going to be in on Stafford.
I see maybe a second and a couple of the others, but I don't see a first round for Matthew Stafford.
I would rather test my chances grabbing Justin Fields or Russell Wilson.
I would. I agree with James there. I'm like, if it comes down to us having to trade a first round pick, give all this cash up, I'll be like, I know we had Brother Scream on here, but I'm telling you right now, fuck no.
Yeah, no.
Fuck no. To give up the first round pick, give up $50 million, give up all this, we're not one player away. We've said it before. It makes no logical sense. I'd be like, but to draft and to have them and then say, hey, okay, so what do we do with the 6th pick, guys? Because, let's be real. Okay, so Matthew Stafford is not on the plate if we're talking like this, right? If they're saying, hey, we're not going to give up the first, then we're going to draft a quarterback at the 6th pick, right? Are we all on board with that?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with what I've been saying. I think Tom Brady wants Shador Sanders, and I think that's going to be who's going to lead the Raiders next year. I truly believe it. I've been saying it since we didn't take a quarterback last year. I've been saying it. I've been on record several times throughout the season thinking, I told you, I still think it's going to be Shador. I really do, man. At the end of the day, I think Shador falls to 6, and I think we take him.
Okay.
So
right,
I seen a thing today. If we were to trade with the Browns, it was a first round, a second round, and a third round pick this year for him. We trade with the Browns because the second pick. So if you can't trade with anybody else, and you got
need to trade to get him. Shador's gonna fall. Like him not throwing at the combine hurt his chances, and maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe he's fucking pushing his way to the Raiders.
No, bro. That's pro day stuff. Quarterbacks never throw at the combine unless they got stuff to make up.
Everybody is saying for him that is a terrible.
Why though?
It might be, but there ain't no
quarterback does it.
He's top 5 teams that need a quarterback.
He's not like Caleb Williams last year, who's solidified as the number 1 pick, right?
Yeah.
Caleb didn't have to throw because everybody already knew where Caleb was going.
But he just Cam Ward.
They're saying Shador And Cam's throwing. I haven't said that Cam's not throwing.
No. But I'm just saying he's not solidified as the number one pick either.
Right, and that's exactly their point. Is there's no quarterback has not solidified. So Shador just left the door open for Jackson Dart to speed up Pashman. And I said that to somebody the other day. I said, don't be surprised. I said this about a month ago to my kid. If Jackson Dart gets taken before Shador Sanders, and everyone's like, you're fucking crazy. I said, I'm not. Watch.
I'm telling you right now, guys, Jackson Dart, he's legit. I mean, like, dude, he's legit. He plays in the SEC. He's going to be a good quarterback in this
league.
He's
going to be Jaden Daniels? I don't think so. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be a generational talent. I said that before.
Yeah, you said that. You did. You did say that.
I've been saying that for.
He said generational talent, and I didn't believe him.
I said too small. I said too small.
Yeah, hey, Matty B, you said too small. He's like too fragile. I thought, hey, you better calm down before we get that RG3 syndrome over there, and then freaking.
Yeah,
I ain't lying.
Yeah.
So
you were spot on.
I still think, man, I truly believe that it's going to be Shador. I really do. I've always thought that when we didn't get our guy last year. And I think that's the guy Tom wants.
So my only thing, like, because you got Tennessee, you got Cleveland, and you got New York Giants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cleveland is not drafting Cam Ward. You got 100%.
Cam Ward.
Tennessee.
I guarantee. I think.
Hey,
I think Cam Ward.
So James, we've talked about this, right? We talked about the Cam Ward thing, guys. I have a buddy who works with the Titans, right? And I asked him, and I said, "What do you think?" He said, "Hey, to be truthful, they don't feel like there's a quarterback that is worth the first pick in the draft."
Which is why they're going to trade it or take Will Carter or Travis.
Hey, so that is exactly what he said, right? So then let's say, hey,
the quarterback either. They're going to take whoever the Titans don't take if the Titans.
Hey, so let's say this, all right? Let's go through it metaphorically speaking right now. First round pick, no quarterback is drafted. The Titans select
the number one pick.
Yeah, the first pick, the Titans would select Abdul Carter, right? Best player. Hey, right now, probably best. Hey, position player wise,
they're saying he's the best player in the draft.
Best player of the draft.
I think they're taking Travis Hunter.
Could be. Okay. Say Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, something like that, right? The Giants, we already know they're taking
2.
Or the Browns. So the Browns go at 2, but the Browns just restructured with Deshaun Watson. They didn't cut him. They restructured.
Well, they didn't cut him because they can't.
Yeah, they can't. That'd be worth Russell Wilson.
So, so what does that tell you, though?
Yeah,
would you draft a quarterback? No, you're going to draft another skill player. So, like, let's say 2 skill players are gone, Abdul Carter and okay. What? Let's see, James.
I think if the Browns don't take a quarterback, I think they're going to take Ashton Genty.
Okay, hey, Ashton Genty. Could be Ashton Genty, another skill guy off the board.
Because their offense runs around Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb beat up, so he's nearing the end of his career.
But it depends on the contract. I'd definitely give him a look. Okay, so then that goes to 3 to the Giants, right?
Cam Ward go there.
Cam Ward goes to the Giants. Then we go to 4. We're 3 picks away from drafting a quarterback. Patriots, they'll draft a skill guy.
Give Drake May a weapon.
Okay, so they take McMillan. They go to 5. Who's the 5th?
I think 5 might be Abdul Carter.
Who's drafting the
Jacksonville.
They are not going to draft a quarterback. They got Sunshine. So, and I agree with James. They're going to take a skill guy. That means Shador Sanders, Jackson Dart fall to the Raiders at 6. You're sitting there as the GM. I want to know if this happens where Jackson Dart and Shador Sanders are sitting on your draft board, I want to know what you do if you're Mark Davis. Matty B, I'm going to start with you. Who do you draft and why?
If he's sitting there and you got Shador Sanders, you take Shador Sanders only because of his ties to Tom Brady and everything else. So, I mean, that's the only reason why I would say Shador Sanders, because of that relationship that they have. I wouldn't mind Jackson Dart. I like Jackson Dart. I think he's a great fucking football player, and I think he's gonna go good and far in this fucking league. But I honestly think if it's Shador and Jackson Dart sitting there at number 6 and they're both waiting there with the ties to Tom Brady and everything else, I think it goes to Shador.
James. He's just like, are you for real right now, bro? Go ahead.
Yeah, obviously, if they're both available. I mean, let me start by saying I'd be happy with either one. Let me start by saying that I'd be happy with either one. But I do think if they're both available, I think you just take Sanders, man, because I just think, to me, it just makes the most sense. When you connect all the dots and the puzzle pieces and who does what and where does Shador hang out in the off season? Who is he talking to? Who's his connections with? It all goes back to Tom. So I just think that's what makes sense. And I think Tom, and I think a lot of NFL teams might agree with this statement, but I think Tom Brady might be the only NFL owner who possesses the capability of truly making Shador Sanders a top level NFL talent, because he's the only person that knows Shador Sanders well enough to do so.
Wow. Look at that insight from James, baby. Getting deep into it. All right. Hey, Al, let us know, bro.
Yeah, I'm with James. I'd be happy with either, but if they're sitting there, first of all, it's not going to be Mark's a yes man now. Whatever Daddy Tom wants to do is what's going to happen. It's going to be fucking. It'll be Shador. I mean, he's been working, like I've said 100 times. He's been working with Shador since high school. He's a mentor to Shador. Shador's going to put fucking asses in the seats, Raider fan asses in the seats.
Get standing like James.
Right? He should, man, and really outside of if, and I've said it before on here, if Shador did not have the Sanders name, there wouldn't be a negative thing about him. He gets a lot of shit because he's fucking Brian's son. And no matter what, Shador has worked for what he's gotten. And the kid works hard, man. And if you guys haven't seen what Chris Carter had to say about Shador, he jumped in an Uber down Super Bowl week. He had a driver after Shador had him, right? So this guy drove Shador and his brother around for a week. So Shador, his character, man, next level. The kid is 5 minutes early. He's always on time. He's always looking out for his brother, making sure his brother's doing the right thing, making sure he's doing the right thing, not putting himself in shitty positions. He's just a high character guy. That was coming from fucking driver to Chris Carter, and Chris Carter made it known on I forget which podcast it was or which show it was, but I mean, I think he's got it all, man. He's got some things to work on. I think, like James said, if anybody's going to get it out of him, it's going to be Brady.
Now, I'd like to just add something at the end. Just, there's something about the Raiders and the shield, right? And just that Raider-esque, right? And when you just pair that with Shador Sanders, just that swagger, man. Just that swagger that it brings back to the huddle in that offense.
Exactly
that I'm gonna walk around. I'm gonna walk around. I'm gonna say what I want. I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna do what I want for my team. I'm gonna say what I want. I don't care what this report says. I don't care what this guy says. Just that energy. It's to Raider fans. It's like a drug. You know.
It's like I said before, it's that moxie, it's that swagger, like you said. When was the last time we had a quarterback with that? Stabler?
Oh,
Come on, like it's good. It's just like you said, it makes too much sense, man.
Plunk it.
I think that'd be
bro,
the pick, man. I really do. I think if it comes down to those two, Shador will be a Raider. You better get your jersey.
I'm
And
gonna
I'll
be
be on
honest,
Fanatics
man.
ready to buy the jersey at midnight.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna be honest, and James knows, bro, and I think everybody here knows. I am not a big Shador fan, but with the things that I just heard, the information that I'm getting here, okay, I can't hate. I'll be like, if we were to get this kid, okay, and he is a high character kid, as in a guy that's a leader, a guy that's gonna come in and be like, yo, like take care of business, and he's gonna come in and like, be like, Gator needs some walking around money, bitch, type of shit. Like, hey, you guys remember that Will Ferrell movie? Like, if he gets that attitude where he's like, yo, like he goes back into Gator mode, where he's a pimp, and like, he's a cop. So like, if he's on the field, then he has to get in Gator mode. Okay.
Gator don't play.
Yeah. Shador don't play.
Gator don't take no shit.
Exactly. He goes, Shador don't take no shit type of stuff. Hey, then, hey, I'm all about it because guess what? Bro, if you are like that off the field and you are just like, hey, you know what? And you know what? I'll tell you what, Alan, you said it correctly. If he wasn't Prime's son, there wouldn't be all this criticism around him and all this thought about the glitz and the glamour. And you know what? You ain't had to work for it because daddy gave it to you, right? My thing is this: if he comes in and he just has that like pale man mentality, and like I said, Gator needs that walking around money, and fuck it, like he ain't taking those shit on the field, and he's just taking names, then bro, go on with your bad self. But if you go around and you have this diva mentality, hey, you guys remember Des Bryant? Mr. Throw Up the X, had the big chains, had all this money, thought he was a badass mofo, and guess where he ended up going? After Dallas, nowhere. So that's where I'm like, yo, if you guys are correct, I'll take Shador Sanders just for the fact that you guys had hit every single nail on the head. Tom Brady, the Raiders need a leader, a guy that's going to be there on time, to be there to hold others to a certain standard, and to move them up in a positive direction on the offensive side of the ball. That's where you guys got me sold. I'll be like, when you guys were like, hey, man, this guy's a leader, this guy has come out, and they say this about him, then that's what I want to hear. So for me, that's what sold me. So, hey, James, go ahead, send it in the mail when it comes down, because he's like, Will, I'm going to get you a jersey when we draft him at 6. I'm going to send it to you because I know that you're going to be rolling, dying inside. But, guys, if Shador Sanders is that type of guy, then we got the bag for the draft. All right, guys. Yo, what I want you guys to do is click like, share, subscribe. Let us know what you guys thought of my boy James with the military chapter, my boy Matty B with TBH Westco, my boy All In with TBH Dallas, and your boy Raider Will with TBH West Coast Stats on this episode of Silver and Black Radio Podcast Blackout Edition, baby. Let us know your comments, like, share, subscribe, and make sure that you guys hit us up on all our social media links.